Hi everyone, Misha the Word Witch. Welcome back to my channel. Today is the first video in a series that I was hoping to start much earlier in the month. However, due to the storms and hurricanes that have been happening in Florida, and also I started a new job in September, and my schedule isn't as rigid as my previous job. Like, my schedule changes from week to week with this job, so finding the time to film a video has gotten a bit more difficult. But anyway, so the video is reading books based off Ice Nine Kills songs, and then, just doing like a brief comparison between the book and the lyrics to the songs. As you can see, I am wearing my Ice Nine Kills shirt. They are my favorite band, and I'm just really excited to be doing this because it's combining, two things I love: music and books. All the books that I have chosen, I chose 4 for this first video. Depending how long I end up talking about some of these, I may have to split this into 2 parts. Maybe do 2 and 2. I don't know. We'll have to see. But the first book is Bram Stoker's Dracula. And the song that this book inspired is called Bloodbath and Beyond. And it's off their Every Trick in the Book album. This is one of my favorite classic novels. This is probably one of my favorite novels ever. And so Bloodbath and Beyond is my absolute favorite song off the album. Obviously, due to copyright, I can't play any of the songs for you guys. But I highly encourage you, if you're a fan of horror, if you're a fan of literature, give them a listen. You won't regret it. So what I love the most about Bloodbath and Beyond, besides the fact that it does touch on Dracula, I feel like with some of the lyrics, it's touching on the vampire genre as a whole. Because, first of all, Spencer Charnas, the frontman, is a brilliant lyricist. He's a great singer, and he's also pretty hot. But I really love, just how he translated this book into the song. So just a few of the lyrics are, "And I'm slipping through the cracks again. They'll never take me alive because I'm already dead. And forever in your head. So won't you come with me and taste immortality?" And so right there, it's alluding to how Dracula keeps escaping from Harker and, Van Helsing and them, and how he's trying to, seduce Mina to, join him, to become another one of his brides. And, also, some of the lyrics of the song are also quite sexy, which I don't consider this to be sexy per se. It's not like if you watch True Blood or even the Vampire Diaries, or, you read the J.R. Ward Black Dagger Brotherhood series where it's very sexy vampirism. These next batch of lyrics are why I think it's kind of also, just paying a little bit of an ode to the vampire genre as a whole. So the next lyrics are, "You're dripping from the ecstasy of one last crimson kiss. When the blood pours out like rain, take pleasure in the pain. You're not the only girl to scream my name, but the first I can't resist. So here's one last crimson kiss." So I just feel like, yeah, it touches on Dracula well, and also on the vampire genre as a whole, and also, come on, Bloodbath and Beyond is such a great title for a song. Although the funny thing is, anytime I mention this song to my boyfriend, he thinks I'm saying Bed, Bath and Beyond, which obviously there's some wordplay there, which I find great. Ice Nine Kills is pretty good about their, throwing in like a little pun, a little wordplay based off of something. I mean, they have a song called Hip to Be Scared, which is based off American Psycho. And I've never seen American Psycho, but I'm pretty sure in the scene, well, I'm not going to spoil in case anybody else hasn't seen it, but the song that's being played is called Hip to Be Squared. So it's just little things like that that just make them so great. Alright, so then the next song, well, the next book, I should say, is Romeo and Juliet, which, can I just say, I took this copy out of the library. Look how gorgeous this book is. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how beautiful that is? Like, that is a gorgeous book. And if for whatever reason my library ever puts this up on sale, I want to buy it, even though I do have a giant Shakespeare book back from my undergraduate back in Pennsylvania that costs like $400 some, but you could hit somebody over the head with this book and give them a concussion. But anyway, so the song also off the Every Trick in the Book album, which actually all of these books and songs are from Every Trick in the Book, which isn't my favorite Ice Nine Kills album, but it's definitely a really, really good one. It's really good. So the song is called Star-Crossed Enemies, and if you don't know Romeo and Juliet, brief synopsis: you have the Montagues and the Capulets. They've been feuding forever. Romeo and Juliet meet. They fall in love. They know their families won't approve. People die, as a result of them falling in love, and finally they decide, to take matters into their own hands. Juliet fakes her death. Romeo gets the wrong information, believes that she is actually dead, and then kills himself so he can be with her. And then she wakes up, sees that he, killed himself, so then she actually kills herself. It's just the song, I feel like it's just I just can't even describe like how perfectly this song fits this book. So some of the lyrics are, if parting is such sweet sorrow, to hell with waiting for tomorrow, hand in hand like we planned as the night takes us away. And I hope when they find me and you in this tomb built for two, they get the glory for the end of our story and take their fucking bows. So remember us, the soon dearly departed, and how the war our father started sealed the fate of star-crossed enemies. You and I both know that death won't matter. Bring on the poison and the dagger. They set the stage for tragedy. And it's like right there, just in those two verses, this is summed up. And it's just such a, just everything about this song is just, it's just a great song. Like, I'm fangirling right now. But yeah, I mean, and it's not like, Romeo and Juliet is a difficult read or a difficult thing to understand, but I do know, the perception of it, especially like when you're in high school, like when I was, it was like, oh, why did they do that? They're just stupid kids, blah, 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 so forth and so on. But at the same time, what they did, not that I'm advocating suicide, I'm just prefacing this, I'm not advocating for suicide at all, but what they did essentially made their parents realize this needs to stop. We can't keep doing this. Like, look, us feuding cost us our only children. Was it worth it for us to, have this feud and keep fighting? No. So, it's just, I really don't know how to phrase it without sounding like I'm, advocating or saying they did the right thing, but, every action has a consequence, and sometimes the consequences of our actions are weirdly beneficial, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so the song, the book, they go perfectly together. And then the next one, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I've read this book multiple times. I don't own my own copy of it, so I did take this one out of the library. But I feel like, so the song is called Me, Myself, and Hyde, which I feel like, if you listen to the song, you can kind of hear just in Spencer's tone, in his, just between like the tone and the lyrics, you can kind of tell which is which, like who's Jekyll, who's Hyde. And I think having the ability to just through, your tone and just through the lyrics be able to convey to the listener, like, yeah, this really is an internal struggle between good and evil. I think this is a really good song. Cause like some of the lyrics, like the chorus is really good, but the one line that really sticks, like the one like section that really sticks out to me is, I'm the hell that is your future. I'm incarnate. Oh, I'll incinerate your past. Wow. I did not get a lot of sleep, so apparently I can't read. I'm the devil on your shoulder, but I'll always be your better half. And that's Hyde speaking to Jekyll. And so then it goes in, so then the line after that is, we might share one body, but the spine is fucking mine. But now you should know you're just a spectator. I'm the show. And is this the end of me? And then the chorus is, 'cause I've been falling apart in the pouring rain. I'm waging war on myself, a captive casualty. Traded a merciful heart for a murderer's brain. But now I curse what's in my head, because I can't stop seeing red. And if you've never read this book, first of all, read the book. It is a good book, although it is disappointing to know that Robert Louis Stevenson originally had a different version of this book that was a lot more terrifying, a lot more gruesome, and apparently he let his wife read it. She told him it was too scary to be published, and so he threw it in the fire, and then this is what we got. This was what, the Victorian era. You don't think you let your Victorian era wife read something horrifying. Just seems like a bad idea. So I would love, if I could ever invent a time machine, I would go back in time and get the original version of this, because I really want to know what was taken out, what could this have actually been if you didn't throw it in the fire. And then the last lyrics of the song are, "The doctor is dead, I bid thee farewell, fuck my fate, just save a seat for me in hell." I'm not going to spoil the ending of the book, but I think the lyrics kind of say it all. And honestly, once again, you can tell that Spencer, took the time to read these books and really understand them and translate that into the songs, because so far the 3 songs we've covered, I feel like, have been pretty dead on with the books. And these are all books and I have read multiple times. I think Dracula is probably one of my most read books ever. So for me, as a literary buff, as someone who, also really cares about literature, to say I feel like he hit the nail on the head, that says a lot. Maybe other people who read, these books and then listen to these songs might not agree, and that's okay. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion, but in my opinion, I think he kicked ass with the lyrics. And then I always mess up the title of this book. This is a library copy, so that's why it's in such, rough shape. But you can tell that, but just from the side, you can tell it's a beautiful edition. It's Tess of the D'Urbervilles, Thomas Hardy. I'm pretty sure I messed that up. But I originally read this book in college, and I was in my early 20s, and I saw the world very differently. So the first time I read this book, admittedly, I did not have as much sympathy and empathy for Tess as I should have. I kind of felt like, she should have known better, and, what happened to her, not saying, she deserved it, but, it just showed, a lack of education from her parents. Just kind of feels like she was, failed by multiple people, not being there or, guiding her the way they should have, and then that led to what happened to her. So if you don't know, Tess ends up meeting a man, and, he's good looking, he says all the right things, says he's going to marry her and all that, and she does give her virginity to him and ends up pregnant in a time where being pregnant out of wedlock, not okay. And so she ends up having the baby, who she named Sorrow, and the baby does not survive. And obviously this tarnishes her reputation. It changes the way her family views her. And so she, leaves her family, goes on to work for a family, ends up falling in love with their son. They get married. And then her baby daddy ends up kind of coming back into the picture. And she tells her husband everything, and not to spoil the rest of it, but this book does not have a happy ending. If you are looking for something with a happy ending, this is not it. Okay? Not it at all. So the lyrics that I really feel like just capture Tess's character and her journey. So the first verse is a makeshift smile, a polished look, some rehearsed lines was all it took. He had it down, man, he was good. A woman screams, her mother weeps, a life so changed irrevocably. What he stole from her is gone for good. So, that just sums up the seduction, him getting her pregnant, her ending up with the baby, her mother's reaction. So it's got everything. So then verse 2, when the purest soul is stained by sin, to the public eye, where can she begin? She lost it all and it's gone for good. And she may never beat the system, but she won't rest until she's turned the villain to the victim. Which, like I said, I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but you use some deductive, just use some deductiveness to it, especially once I read the third verse. So, officer, please, that's the man who's destroyed my existence. Yeah, he begged and he screamed just like I did. And for this I was willing to die. It was all I could do to survive. So, like I said, not a happy ending. I'll let you especially dissect that last verse and see, if you haven't already read the book, how you think it ends. But honestly, after listening to this song and then rereading the book probably a decade after I initially read it, like, I see it completely differently, and I feel so bad for Tess in a way that I previously didn't. Also the first time I read this, I read it for a class, and it was a class where I don't remember. I know there was material I was more excited to read, so I do feel like there was a part of me that probably just, blew through this, because I was like, why am I going to care about this? Why should I care about this? This isn't like my kind of genre, there's no vampires, there's no supernatural elements to it. But no, this is actually it's a good book. Maybe eventually one day I will purchase my own copy of it, because I do feel like there are some, good lessons in here, and overall I just feel like if you read it, it does something to you. It does something to you internally. I know it did, like I said, for me the second time I read it. So those are the first 4 books in what I'm calling my Ice Nine Kills reading challenge. Like I said, I just wanted to do this for October because, they're a horror band, but I think this is going to be a series I'm going to have to do past October, just because we have 8 days until Halloween, and that's not a lot of time to try to read everything else and make videos on them, plus work and do other things in life. So if you like this video, please let me know. If you want to follow along and also do the Ice Nine Kills reading challenge, as I'm calling it, you can go on Google and just type in Ice Nine Kills reading list or something, or songs, or books based off of Ice Nine Kills songs or something like that, and you could probably find the whole list. I don't know if I'll be able to read every single thing because I think there's a few things that are like short stories or they're harder to find. So I'm going to read as much of them as I can. The only book that concerns me, in all honesty, is, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but they have a song called It Is the End. And it's a song based off the Stephen King novel It. I don't like clowns. I really don't like clowns. They freak me out. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to read that book knowing it's a clown. But that's a me problem, so I will find a way to figure that out. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I'll have links for, my Pango books, my Instagram, Twitter, blog, all that down below if you want to follow me on anything else. And yeah, happy early Halloween / Samhain if I don't get a chance to post another video before Halloween / Samhain. Alright, have a great day, everyone.